The Tie and Hoodie Show is sponsored by ICCLending.com. For real estate service, please go to ICCLending.com.
3, 2, 1.
Every human came to earth with a gift, and they must discover that gift and refine that gift for them to be fulfilled.
The prerequisite for spending time with any person is that they nourish and inspire you. They feed your flame.
Yo, hey man, how you work this radio?
You're not listening to the Tie and Hoodie Show.
Keep it locked.
Owning a home and paying it off is one of the data points of an everyday millionaire.
Home sales across the U.S. are on the rise as buyers take advantage of record low mortgage rates.
Good morning. Now let's get back to the Tie and Hoodie Show.
Good morning. It's the all brand new Tie and Hoodie Show right here only and exclusively 93.5 K-Day. I'm your host, Travon Smith, a.k.a. Trey. This is my co-host, Andrew Jesse Koba, president of ICC Lending, as well as author of Credit Repair Simplified. Yep. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good as always.
Another day, huh?
Another day.
Another Sunday morning.
A beautiful Sunday morning, and we always look at it as a chance to get the week started in a positive motion. Yep. I'm a big fan of our guests. No matter who we have, but today we step in a little bit of my world, and so I'm a little more, a little bit more comfortable than I usually am. Because with the financial, we usually do a lot of financial discussions and personal growth, and that's something that I'm going through and learning.
Yeah, our show has always been about personal development.
Personal development.
Trying to let people know that you can always come up, and don't let anybody keep you down. As long as you get the education, put in the work, things can happen.
Yeah, the work. The work. Somebody like me, I have a little bit of education and a whole bunch of hard work. Yeah. And somebody's like you have showed me how to direct my energies correctly.
Yep, you can get educated better, and the work gets easier, or the productivity gets better with a lot more education. So, but today we're diving out. I'm a hip hop fan, but I'm not a hip hop guy. Yeah. So sometimes I listen to hip hop here and there, and I found a guest online. And one of the reasons why I had to reach out and tell you about him was because I'm not used, besides, back home, besides Eminem, I've never really heard or seen any, is it proper to say white guy? Yeah. White guy.
I think In my perspective, the white guy is the minority. Okay. In the field we're in, as far as the music industry.
Exactly.
I mean, as far as not music industry, as far as rap and hip hop culture like that.
So when I saw him doing his freestyle, and rapping, I thought, oh wow, this guy is really good. Yeah. Like Travon, we need to interview this guy and bring him out into your world or my world, I would say, right?
Our world together. And at first, before I knew what name exactly it was, I was like, hey, Andrew, we're on K-Day. A lot of people are going to want to be on the show. So I was like, we can't take everybody. And then when I was like, oh, I done ran across my man a couple of times. I know exactly what he brings. Definitely a skill set. So, and like I said, I've seen your work a couple times, and I've seen you actually at K-Day in the Power 106.
Well,
let's introduce him.
Well, this is Harry Mack. Welcome.
Hey.
Harry Mack.
How you guys doing, man? Honored to be here.
We're doing good. So, I have a million questions for you, but we only have half an hour. So Just first of all, just tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from.
Yes. My name is Harry Mack. I'm an MC. Rapper, and I'm most known for freestyling, which can mean a couple different things to different people, depending on who you ask. But to me, when I say I freestyle, that means that I improvise my lyrics. So I'm making, my lyrics up off the top of my head, and I'm based out of Los Angeles, California.
Harry Mack, when you said freestyling right there, I think I knew what you mean by saying there's different meanings for freestyle. And then you brought that right to my mind, because I hear people saying they're freestyling, and I'm like, I heard this before.
Right.
So that's not considered a freestyle, if I'm correct?
Well,
To
it's
some degree.
complicated. It's complicated. Freestyle is one of those words that really does mean a few different things depending on who you ask and also depending on which era you're in. Because actually, to my understanding, in the old school, like golden era, like 80s era, with like Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap and Slick Rick and artists like that, I think to their mind, the word freestyle did not mean an improvised rap. It just meant a rap about nothing in particular, right? So just like a basic flex, you're just, talking about how good you are on the mic and you're the dopest MC and nobody can mess with you and all that. And so that's what they meant when they said freestyle. And then at some point down the road, I'm not sure exactly when, freestyle started to take on this other meaning separate from that. Which meant that the lyrics were improvised and made up in the moment in the same way that like a jazz soloist is improvising melodies in the moment when they perform. And then nowadays it's kind of come full circle where most of the time, like if you're on YouTube and you see a video that says freestyle, if it's on a radio platform or something, usually it's not improvised, right? It's usually written, memorized, prepared in advance of the performance. So at this day and age, the actual improvised art of freestyle that I'm known for is quite a small kind of niche in the industry.
It is really small, and I'll be a testament to that, because the thing that intrigues me the most about what you do is being able to take current, consistent, happening events, like right around you, taking your environment and turning it into rhymes and rap that really kind of flows. And one of the things I also like, you throw a few F-bombs here and there, which is not something that I'm privy to a lot in my where I am right now. But what I love about what you do is it's I don't have any words. It's soulful. It's good. It's like, seriously, this guy should be on stage, making music for millions of people. So
Thank you,
it's. So my wife, who is not a hip hop fan, or rap music fan, I'm like, honey, you gotta listen to this guy. She's like, I don't listen to this kind of music. I'm like, no, listen, you gotta listen to this guy. And he's like, wow. So I just had to. It's such an honor to be talking to you. I mean, seeing you. I've watched literally. When you watch something on YouTube or you watch a video and it intrigues you, and then you go search all kinds of videos relating to that. I've probably watched all your Omigo videos, all your happy hour videos. I've watched all of them, all the ones you're rapping with people on the line and in Venice Beach. So I can go
I
on
appreciate
and on
that, man.
I'm a fan.
I appreciate that so much, bro. Thank you, man. That means a lot to me.
That definitely, I know, has to have a good feeling within, within yourself to know that there's people out there that you touch like that. And that's something I want to kind of ask you. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but as being the minority in like the rap game, because it's not you're not the minority in music, but the minority in the rap game. What are some of the things that you think that kind of prevail against you, or do you think you have been given a fair shot, or do you have to prove yourself? Like work 3 times as hard to prove yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, right? Like hip hop is obviously Black music. I mean, it was invented and created by Black people as an expression of the Black experience in New York, in the 70s and 80s, right? If we go back to the beginning of it. And obviously that's something that, me being a white man in 2020 can never relate to in a direct way, right? I can never know what that experience is. And so, I think certainly, white people like myself are minorities within the genre of hip hop. And so I think it can go both ways, in terms of, does that make it harder for me to succeed in hip hop? Maybe, in certain situations, you might have to prove yourself a little bit more because, anytime I pop up and it's like, yo, I'm an MC, people are going to be like, oh, really? Okay. Like, can this guy really rhyme? He's going to have to show and prove. The same way, you mentioned Eminem. I mean, why is Eminem so respected in the industry? It's because, you know, he worked really hard to develop a skill set that's undeniable, right? So he really had to make sure that the skills were there to sort of like justify his place in hip hop, you know? So I think on the one hand, it can be more of a situation where I really got to prove myself. A lot of people might doubt me from the beginning based on the way that I appear. You know, on the other hand, it kind of helps you stand out too. It's like, you know, I'm sure a lot of people, when they talk about me, they're like, oh yeah, there's this dude, he freestyles. He's like a white dude and he makes YouTube videos. Yeah. And people, oh, I think I seen him, you know? And so they know. So on that hand, maybe it helps, you know? I do think that if it is more of a challenge for me to succeed in hip hop, that's okay, because I think in a lot of areas of society, you know, my whiteness affords me a lot of privilege. So, you know, if within this one area, you know, within Black culture and within this Black music of hip hop, if it's a little harder for me to get on, I feel like maybe that's okay, you know?
I got you. So you're kind of developing the seasoning as you go through the, you know, the bumpy road anyway, right?
Exactly.
One question I have for you, you know, Harry Mack, what advice will you give yourself looking back 10 years ago? What advice will you give yourself today?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say to myself 10 years ago, you know, don't be afraid. Okay. That's what I would tell myself. You know, I'm somebody who has been freestyling and rapping since I was 12 years old, you know, and I'm 30 now. So I've been freestyling for the past 18 years. But the world has only known about Harry Mack for the past 3 or 4 years, right? Since I started creating content and releasing it on YouTube and social media and other platforms. And, you know, why did it take so long for me to start creating content and showing it to the world? Because I was afraid. Right? Like many creative people are, you know, or anybody who's trying to do some sort of entrepreneurial pursuit, you know, where they're in charge of their destiny, so to speak. Anybody who's trying to, you know, kind of take control of their life and do something different. There can be a lot of fear that goes along with that in terms of, you know, fear of being judged, you know, you know, and so it can be really scary to put yourself out like that. And, you know, sometimes I think, man, like, how crazy where would I be today, right, if I was able to push past that fear earlier on in my life? And I don't regret the way it went down, you know, because things are great, and I'm really you know, proud of the career that I have so far. And maybe it wouldn't have happened this way if things were different. So it's not like a thing where I regret waiting so long, but I definitely think that fear held me back for a long time. And, you know, to any artist that's or creative person that's out there, you know, wondering, man, should I do it? Is it good enough? Yeah, I would say just go forward. So that's what I would want to tell a young Harry Mack. Don't be afraid.
And that's something we talk about here on the Tie and Hoodie Show, is personal growth. And you've described some of that, and as far as the scariness and the uncertainty that you go through. And if you can just like just elaborate a little bit more. There was that point where you had to say, Harry Mack is a cool guy, and, you know, I like to have fun. But now there was a button that someday in your life that you pressed where it was like, hey, this is all business now. Can you just describe just a little bit, you know, just for our listeners out here in LA who may be going through some kind of transition, or people listening worldwide, like, hey, we can have fun, but at some point in your life, you have to hit that button and say, I'm more business now than fun when it's coming to business.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the transition from just doing it for fun, you know, with your homies. I mean, because look, like I said, I've been freestyling since I was 12. When I was 12, all we did was wait until school got out so we could run over to Brady's house where he had the turntables and the $20 Radio Shack mic, and then we would watch 106 in Park, the battles, and we would watch, you know, the basement, with Big Tigga in them, and all the dope artists that would come on there, and we would plug in that mic and do our little freestyles, you know, and my raps were super whack back then. You know, I didn't have any technique, I didn't have any skill set, you know, I wasn't born with it, you know, whatever that means. I loved it so much, and there was nothing we could imagine that would be more fun or more awesome than that, right? And so that sort of joy and sort of childlike creativity and love and expression of just happiness has always been there and has carried through, all through high school when we started doing ciphers at house parties and started renting venues and booking our own shows, all through college when I was rapping with, an instrumental band and doing house parties and shows and gigging as a freestyler and MC. And then after college, all the way through up until, 2017 when I finally started making content. And as you say, making that transition, right, from doing it just for fun and just for love and just for the expression of joy, but then to saying, okay, let me learn about content creation. What does it mean to get views or subscribers? What does it mean to, maximize your potential in these algorithms so that you can get eyes on your content? And what does the word monetize even mean? How do we put ads on the videos and start to turn this into a business, right? So, that transition was essential, right? Because otherwise it never goes to that next level, and it never, you're never able to actually live the dream. I always had to have other jobs, and I was always kind of struggling to make ends meet and doing things that I wasn't passionate about in order to survive. And so, to anybody who's like on that edge right now, where maybe they work a job, right, that they don't really care about, right, and it's kind of like a soul-sucking job, but they have this passion or they have this idea, or this dream that keeps tugging at them, like, yo, what about that thing though? Like, what if you did that clothing brand, or what if you did that, startup that you've been thinking about? What if you made that app? Whatever it is, if you're passionate about it, I say make that leap, because for me, as scary as it was, I had to make that leap. And one of my favorite sayings is leap and the net will appear, right? You have to jump before it's safe, right? Or before it makes sense on paper, because it doesn't quit your job and start your rap career. I mean, come on. Like if I ran that by my parents, they'd be like, I don't know, Harry, maybe you should, maybe keep the job. Would tell you.
Exactly. Especially being white, right? It's like, right. Honey, are you sure? Why don't you try grad school? Something like that.
Right. Exactly.
So going forward again, let's jump ahead real quick, because people get stuck in that moment where they're like, I can't even pay my bills. You're telling me about it. What's your plan for the next 10 years?
Great question. So, for the next 10 years, so first off, my goal was always to be able to, be a full-time creator, right? Okay. Full-time musician, creator, and support myself. And I'm proud to say that has been the case for the past, I think seven years or so now. I'm a drummer as well. So, my background is as a jazz drummer. So I was gigging for a while as a drummer. And now it's full-time, hip hop. I'm a rapper full-time. And so, the simple answer is I want to continue creating. I want to continue improvising, creating content, making music, whether it's video content, which, works really well for me. My performance style is very visual. So whether it's video content or mixtapes or albums, music videos, whatever, I want to continue creating and have that be my full-time job. And as long as I'm sustaining myself doing that, I'm happy. I think that one thing that has been really cool for me is making this sort of business of being Harry Mack profitable, without being signed to a label or without kind of going the traditional path. My path in the industry is very unorthodox. I'm not known for a hot single or a hot album. I've never gone to radio, but my business is very profitable, and so what I have done is monetized in other ways. I live stream, for example, 4 times a week. Each live stream is 2 hours long, where I'm freestyling and directly engaging with my audience. And these live streaming platforms are monetized in the sense that people who are viewing can give you donations to have their comment read, or they can subscribe to your channel, which is, a paid membership type of situation. So, for me, over the course of the next 10 years, I want to continue building directly with my fan base. And I think that's the business model, in my opinion, of the future for musicians and creatives, is no longer relying on these companies and labels, you know, where it's like, oh, I need to get one of these companies to essentially give me a loan, right? Which I'll owe back, you know, in order to survive, you know, that's not really a great model. I don't really want a loan, you know, because I don't want to owe anybody. So for me, it's like making it profitable now at an independent level through direct support from my audience. And I think that's really what I want to build upon and continue building with, so that I have that super strong foundation and core of followers, supporters, and fans who believe in me and want to see me grow, and we all kind of grow together.
Hey, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know I was gonna get this all from you. You have an intellectual and a characteristic, you know what I'm saying, conversation and a great interview. So I'm gonna definitely pass this on to everybody that I come across, as far as people interviewing for shows, and then we got a couple minutes left, so I definitely want you to do something at the end. But I had a couple questions before we get out of here. Now, I know you've done the Ellen DeGeneres show. I know you've been around the Kendrick Lamars and all the big stars. I always personally like to ask, what's something that you've done that maybe didn't make YouTube, or maybe it didn't have anything to do with meeting a star, something that's one of your most memorable experience that you've had since, you know, Harry Mack 2017?
Yeah, man. Let's see. One of my most memorable moments that maybe didn't make it to the tube.
That we may not all know about.
Yeah. Man, I mean, there's so many. You know, I mean, there's been so many cool moments, you know, along the way. I think one thing that was huge for me, right, was I actually went on tour last year, back when that was a thing, right? So I went and did some shows, just a short mini tour, 5 dates, you know, at New York, San Francisco, where else did we go? Chicago, you know, Portland, my hometown, whatever. And it was really dope. And I think what was really special for me was, after the shows, talking to everybody, shaking people's hands, and having conversations with people face to face, because I'm somebody who has a lot of popularity on the internet, right? I've used these internet tools, social media, et cetera, to build my name. And that's fantastic. You know, I'm very thankful to have those platforms, and it's great. But it's special to see people in the flesh, you know, and to be with people in the same space and share energy with them, and to really feel that love from the fans in other cities, not LA, was really dope.
Oh, well, hey, that's something we can put together. We got some connections with the concert people, so I'm gonna definitely send them your information, and we'll make that, you know, that formal, you know, here and there.
Let's go.
A couple of things. Do you think we're going to get a jazz album out of you somewhere before it's all said and done?
So probably not like a straight up jazz album, but my jazz playing is in every rap that I do. You know, it's all come together in sort of the perfect way for me to express myself. You know, I always say a freestyle is a jazz drum solo with words.
I got you.
So all the jazz drummers I studied, Philly Joe Jones, Elvin Jones, Tony Williams, Max Roach, you know, all those cats, their rhythm is in me, you know, and I've played thousands of jazz gigs. I mean, I've played more jazz gigs than I could ever count, dating back to when I was 12 years old. When I started playing drums, I was gigging in Portland at 12, you know, playing. I had to get a note from the court so that I could be in the bars before I was 21. And when we took breaks, I had to go outside, you know, while the rest of the band stayed inside.
Hey, that's the love for the game.
Exactly. So that music is in me, and it comes out through my rapping. But I'm more into incorporating it into my freestyling than, like, I don't know if I'll do like a straight ahead jazz.
I have to ask, man, because I know you love jazz. So I just have to ask.
So for people to reach out, they can always just Google Harry Mack, and I mean, you have such a cool, marketable name. Harry Mack. I mean, how good, it doesn't get any better. But we have about 5 minutes to go on an interview here.
Yes.
We'd like you to go. I mean, I've watched all your videos.
Yeah.
I would like to toss up some words.
Yes. Let's do it.
So you can run something for us. So
hey, of course, I'm a fan of this.
Yeah. So
let's go.
Obviously, my first word, as you can guess, will be Tie and Hoodie.
Yep.
You know, show.
Yep.
You want to toss out a word?
We're gonna tell him. He got to start.
Well, you talk. No.
Oh yeah, give him in advance, because otherwise I won't be able to hear you. So let's just get like 3 words and I'll go. Yeah.
I want to hear Trey.
Trey, okay.
Trey, let's go. All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
All right. So Tie and Hoodie Show. Trey, let me get one more.
You know what? I'm gonna toss my wife's name in there. It's Moira. Moyra.
Moira.
Moyra.
Okay. Dope.
She's
Let's
gonna
get it.
flip out.
Let's do it. All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Come on. Hey. Come on. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, hey, coming off the top. Mac known for improvising over Mob Deep beats while my temperature's rising. Getting down with my people, show them all how it should be. I had to do a verse here on Tie and Hoodie. Illest off the top, man, I tried to warn you. Got my tie on, now I'm feeling formal. Hold up, take it off and get props, bro. I got my hoodie on, I'm going to the hip-hop show. Yeah, hey, yo, y'all know the Mac came to drop fast, cause I can do it hella formal, I can do it relaxed. So either way, y'all make it happen. Put the game all up under pressure. The tie and the hoodie came together. Yeah, 2 different sides of the game. Be having conversations and opening their brains just to maintain. And now we feeling blessed. We talking about ways to expand towards success. Mac, I put it down, man. Y'all know I'm automatic when I spray your phrase when I'm live on K-Day. Yeah, 92.3 in my zone I be. Harry Mack, I'm getting busy, the freestyle MC. Hey, yo, I rep it every day and I say what I say. I had to connect with my homie main man Trey, so let's do it. Y'all know that the flow off the brain. Hey, shout out to Trey, like we all on the plane. Got the tray table down till it's time to land. Now we gotta lift that tray up with both hands. Hold up, my bar's major. I shock like a taser. Hey, balancing with Trey like if I was a waiter. Yeah, Mac all up on it, man. I spit what I think. I said I'm gripping the tray so I can balance the drinks. I'm on a whole nother level. I spit it till the last day. Rappers get crushed like cigarettes in the ashtray. Get it, ashtray. Mac on another plane. I'm kicking lyrics off of my brain. I'ma do it for y'all. I can't sit up in the cubicle, so for me the suit wasn't suitable. But I got respect for my main man Ty, cause he's got the collar and the red tie looking fly. H-Mac, I'm all up in it. My bars will destroy ya. Am I pronouncing this right? Aoya, wait, say your wife's name one more time.
Moira.
Moira, I will enjoy ya, I will destroy ya. Bars from my people, bars off the top and they sounded too lethal. I help you feel good through a hard day. Moira, M-O-Y. I'ma spell it out, y'all know that I got it. When it comes to freestyles, mine's is the hottest. Cut through like a knife every time I live my life. And I know I just got you major props from the wife. You're welcome. Every time I rhyme, yo, it's well done. Can a rapper do it on my level? Seldom. I wish we was together in same room. Mac and Tie and Hoodie, we combining on Zoom. Even in COVID, we coming with the remedies. I hopped on the show just to share a bit of energy.
Hey, man. I'm gonna tell you what. I done been around a lot. You know we done ran across the. That was dope. That was hard.
Thank you.
That was hard. I can't even really say what I want to say because it's a PG show. Hey, that was hard AF. You know.
Thank you, man.
Hey,
appreciate that, bro.
Hey, look, I'm gonna chop that last piece up, and that's gonna be our intro. I'm gonna make sure that's part of our intro.
Let's go.
We want to make sure you get your props, man. Where can everybody reach you at and get at you?
Yeah, man. Harrymackofficial.com, HARRYMACK official.com. And I'm on all social media, just basically at Harry Mack.
Man, for real, I'm really, really impressed, man. And I don't say that a lot. I don't, been around Dr. Dre, Snoop, all of them. Like, that right there was special. Like
Thank
you reminded,
man.
I'm going to tell, look, you're going to know where I went. That reminded me of hanging out with Crooked Eye.
Wow, man.
Crooked Eye got stupid skills. You reminded me of Crooked Eye right there. And that's a dangerous place in my head. So now I got to get on the phone and try to put some stuff together for you.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, Trey. Yeah, shout out to Crooked, the legend, man. That's amazing.
Hey, being Crooked like this, so I'm going to make that call and shoot him your information, man.
I appreciate that.
But, hey, Thank you for joining us. Every Sunday morning, 6:30 to 7, right here on 93.5 K-Day. It's the Tie and Hoodie Show. Don't forget it's sponsored by ICCLending.com. And if you missed this show or just got in late, all the shows are updated weekly on tieandhoodieshow.com. Man, we'll see y'all next week.
Hey, do you have valuable information that can help your community?
Okay.
And you'd like to be a guest? Hit us on our social media.
Do it now.
The Tie and Hoodie Show is sponsored by ICCLending.com. For real estate service, please go to ICCLending.com.